I am your empty lane, a walk with a cane, I have chronic pain. I am an aromantic, ADD frantic, partial deaf antics. I'm just your liberal geriatric millennial gal. It's time for a confession. Politically, I'm not the left. I'm sure this is going to surprise people on both sides of the political spectrum when I say this, but from a pure ideological standpoint, I'm the center. I'm pro-choice, pro-gun control, pro-racial justice, pro-LGBTQIA plus rights, pro-environment, pro-World Health Organization, pro-science, pro-decriminalization of marijuana, pro-criminal justice reform, anti-war. These positions have been systematically painted by the right wing as radical left positions, but they're not. The majority of Americans support these same positions. These aren't radical opinions, they are majority opinions. The dirty little secret of the GOP is that they reject majority rule, the very ideal our country was built on. They have no intention of representing the views of their constituents, but rather they wish to game the system by any means necessary in order to impose their unpopular ideology on the nation as a whole. They make no effort to convince people of the merits of their plans. They simply try to manipulate elections just enough to maintain their power. One way they do this, to great effect, is to paint politically centrist positions as dangerously radical leftist ones, and then conflate them with political dirty words like socialism, communism, or anarchist. They dragged their party right, dragged the Democrats right, and effectively pretended like there was no center. It was us or them, which incidentally is a great way to energize your base and demoralize everyone else. The modern Democratic Party is a very loose coalition of the actual left and the center. This makes for a fairly unhappy alliance. True left people, the progressives, are often at odds with more conservative centrists they've been made to share a party with. They hate the centrist stars of the party, your Bidens, Buttigieg's, Harris's, etc. Meanwhile, the real left candidates like Sanders, Warren, AOC make the centrists nervous. This divide makes it hard to rally the party to one cause or one candidate enough to drive the kind of voter turnout needed to overcome these one-issue voters that the GOP has cultivated. I think it's past time for us to adopt simple measures like ranked voting and to allow more than two parties to have a feasible chance of winning elections. Frankly, I don't think that it serves any of us, no matter what party, to be forced into this false political dichotomy. And clearly, it is no way to actually make sure that the laws and policies of the land represent the opinion of the majority. This is a nation that is supposed to be owned by we, the people. But right now, it's being driven into the ditch by a party that values power and ideology over how well any given policy actually achieves the goals they espouse. A prime example is abortion. Historically, there are less abortions when the Democrats hold power, despite the GOP's positions against it. This was before Roe v. Wade was overturned. Why was that? Because the GOP's approach is based on what they want to be real instead of what actually works in practice. They want abstinence. They want no abortions. They want no family planning. But all of those things actually do, in the end, cause less abortions to happen. The same thing is true with budgets. The Democrats lower the deficit and the GOP explodes it. every time. They make decisions based on an ideal world that they want to exist instead of being honest about the true consequences of their ideological stances. That leaves those of us who truly value the results of the ideology to band together through our ideologies and don't always mesh well together. I dream of a world where someone who is truly left can vote without a sour taste in their mouth, and where the majority opinion was the guide for our public policy. I will include a bunch of different sources for the positions I mentioned in the description, all my links there. Please do let me know what you think about this. Thanks. Bye.